Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Tidus Talk. Today, my special guest is TotallyAFanTAF, otherwise known as Taff. How are you doing today, Taff?
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today on this amazing episode of Titus Talk? Titus, I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, my dude?
I'm doing all right. Some stuff happening with the new house, but I won't bore you all with that. All right, then. We can go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I like to interview, get to know you guys so they can get to know you. So I got some questions for you, Taff.
Bring it. I'm ready for this.
All right, first would be, so why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you do, anything you want to tell about yourself generally.
Sure. So again, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? My name is Totally Fan. Totally Fan is a moniker that was kind of created in the respect of like wanting to do my own type of like YouTube videos and talk about nerd news and stuff like that. And then it started growing into like, oh, how can I unite like community members into talking about these subjects, these topics in an environment where like sometimes you have family that's not into like the nerdy stuff that you are into, or sometimes you don't have friends that are into the stuff that you're into. So originally it was going to be like a sort of like kind of like a ESPN Sports Center kind of thing, but talking about nerd stuff, movies, games, comic books, TV, everything in that world. And I was going to bring that information to you and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I think after like the third season of episodes that I was doing, I even a little bit before when I started the season, I had way too many people in my head talking to me about, oh, you should do this for more viewers. You should try to do this to gain more followers. You should promote stuff a little bit more. And then some of my other dreams and aspirations for the channel kind of went up in flames because too many people either they weren't taking me seriously, or they weren't supporting me in a way that like I needed in order to keep hungry with it. Like, yeah, if an idea doesn't sound good, then sure, maybe I can change the idea, or maybe I can push the idea to the side and then try to focus on another idea. But unfortunately, what ended up happening is people really close to me were almost bringing me down to a point where I have found I couldn't find a reason to keep going. So I never did season 4, and that was back in like what 2014 maybe, maybe 2015. And then a couple years ago, I decided that I was like, you know what? If I can't do it on YouTube, let me try to outreach onto something on Twitch, which is kind of where I was going to get started. But what I wanted that to be as well is I wanted that to be something for art. I wanted to do a lot of fan art, like kind of like what I'm doing now, but I wanted to do it earlier than what I've been doing. And a lot of it was to kind of teach, learn, share, all that stuff of art, whether it's techniques, fandoms, whatever the case was. And needless to say, I just didn't have the proper equipment to do it. And so what ended up being like what was supposed to be my Twitch channel ended up just being a place for me to like occasionally come and watch favorite artists or whatever do what they do. And then I want to say in September, I decided, you know what, I'm going to make a huge push forward. I'm going to finally start my Twitch channel. So I started doing art here at my house. At the time, the equipment still wasn't up to date. And that's when I met, or not when I met, but that's when a college friend of mine, also known as Twix Tricks, he's been on the channel here, on Titus's channel, on my channel, and a couple other people's. He's offered like, hey, I know you live near me, come over and stream from my house. I have equipment. You can use this stuff here. And I was like, oh, word? Like right now? He's like, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So I ended my stream, drove 15 minutes to his house, threw my sketchbook on the table, and then boom, started drawing. Now, unfortunately, at the time, that was only a weekly thing. And I wanted to do more art, but again, the equipment here at home just wasn't up to par. And so we went a couple months, doing whatever. In December, that's when I started playing Kingdom Hearts in preparation for Kingdom Hearts 3, and right before I started streaming Kingdom Hearts, I was like, you know what? I can't wait for better internet. Can't wait for better cameras. I can't wait for XYZ. I'm gonna do it right now. The same way that I started the YouTube channel just because I wanted to is basically what I did. I bought myself brand new internet for my room specifically. And then I started streaming straight from the PlayStation, and then it went from there through that growth and meeting all of you guys, meeting people on Tidus's channel. We expanded to what we are now, where we're still doing fan art. We're still talking about our fandoms. I'm going through a bunch of like retro games, but kind of like nostalgia stuff, with occasional sprinkle of the modern stuff here and there. And ultimately, this channel on Twitch is going to grow to be an expansion of the YouTube channel, because I do want to get back to that, and at some point we'll get there. But at the current moment, I'm just trying to take it one day at a time, just because life happens and kind of dealing with some life issues. But ultimately, Totally Fan is going to be what I want it Totally Fan to be. So it's not more so a name; it's more so just kind of the moniker of all of us being fans of just everything. None of us are major critics of. We didn't, maybe not all of us got a degree in movie science or anything like that, but we all love these properties, and we all love to talk about it. And again, that's what Totally Fan is, kind of uniting all of us fans to be in this world.
Oh yeah, actually, the only reason I got to find your channel was through Mart. You met Mart at some point in time. He shouted you out or hosted you at one point in time, and that's where everything started for me and you anyway.
My plans for world domination began.
And it's been expanding ever since. All right. So how long have you been gaming? Is it an all your life thing, or is it just more of a recent?
No, definitely all my life. I mean, through the years, I'm 30, and I at this point, I got to live through the 90s, which was probably like a phenomenal period to live in.
Absolutely.
And then the early 2000s. So as modern video games and retro video games and all that, as far as all that stuff's concerned, is I grew up with all of it. I'm so happy that I got to be a part of it. I had a cousin who owned an Atari, but I got to play a bunch of games on Atari. Went to Nintendo. My cousin had Super Nintendo. Then I went to Sega, and I had like a Sega CD kind of hybrid thing. Then cousin had a Dreamcast. Then another cousin ended up having Nintendo 64. Then I went to PlayStation. Then I got a PlayStation 2. I got to go to my best friend, who I call my brother. I got to go to his place and play Xbox. Then I got a 360. Then I got a One. Then I got a PS4. Then I got a PS3. Then I got a Nintendo Switch. Now I have a retro system. I'm all over. I grew up with it, and I'm in it. I'm about that life.
Quick question. So you got a PS4 before you got a PS3?
Actually, no. I did technically get a PS3 before the 4, but I got the PS3. When did I get maybe like a year before the PS4.
Okay. Is the order you said PS3? I was like, wait, how does that work?
Yeah, no, it's just too many systems. That's all it is.
No worries.
No, the PS3 I got maybe like 2 years ago. Something like that, but the PS4 had been out for who knows how long. And to be honest, I ended up getting a Nintendo 64, I think, when the Wii was out. And then I was working at this really cool retro store. Well, the store was awesome. And I ended up buying myself the Pikachu Nintendo 64, the blue and yellow set.
Yeah.
So awesome. That was like a really cool thing. Like, as a nerd and as a Pokemon fan, I was like, yes, I finally have one. But again, I got that probably last year, maybe late last year, something like that.
Cool. So what are your favorite types of games, your genres, things of that nature?
I like a lot of adventure stuff, role playing, but not like, I like Final Fantasy, but not to the extent of Final Fantasy.
Not big in the turn-based?
No. But I do like role play elements. Shooters are fun every once in a while. Sports games. Apex. I I play sports games every once in a while. To be honest, the only time I probably play any sport game, is during a major sporting event. So, like, for an example, when the next World Cup comes up, I'll probably buy whatever the current version of FIFA is. World Cup. Maybe during the next Super Bowl, I'll play Madden for like a month. I won't play anymore. Probably for like another year. I do like racing games. I'm a huge fan of like the Need for Speed series, or at least like the Underground series. But the last couple Need for Speed games have been like really great in terms of like customizing your car and stuff like that, and the drive mechanics are great. I was never a fan of Gran Turismo though. I didn't. I guess it was just too realistic for me, and at the time, me not knowing how to legitimately drive, I didn't like Gran Turismo. And now that I have a little more understanding of racing techniques and how you're supposed to move the car on actual tracks, I might be better at Gran Turismo now than I was as a kid. But I still like the whole customize your car thing. A lot of that comes from Fast and Furious, so Need for Speed Underground. Gotcha. Anything relating to that, I'm totally down for.
Yeah, I'm more of an arcade racer fan myself. The more realistic ones I tend to stay away from. I drive in real life. I don't need
to. Yeah, yeah, right. But yeah, I fighters are fun. I'm really passionate about martial arts, so like fighters that are really in tune with, I guess, martial arts, like more Soul Calibur. Well, yeah, Soul Calibur and Tekken, and maybe less Street Fighter, less Mortal Kombat. I'll still play those two games, but like I guess the more realism with the martial art, the better for me, just personally. But yeah, I play a wide variety of genres.
All right. What are some of your fondest gaming memories?
Assassin's Creed, the first one. I mean, granted, like my favorite one is 3, but the first one's probably my favorite just because at the time, like I was really into conspiracy theories and I still kind of am, just not as much as I used to be, but like I was really into it, and Assassin's Creed kind of spoke to that conspiracy theorist in me, and I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, what if this is, how it actually went down? Not saying that I believed it, but like, the what if kind of scenario just started like playing with my thoughts, and like, what if it's something like this? Not quite, and so that's always been like a huge thing for me, Assassin's Creed. But probably my fondest memories would probably be playing like video games with my sisters. We used to play Super Mario 3 a lot with the middle sister, and then with my oldest sister we used to play Mortal Kombat. And then what's the game called for Sega? It was called Road Rash. We used to play that a lot. And probably the pinnacle memory to kind of just maybe my life in general was I used to go over to one of my like specific cousin. It was 3 of them. They were brothers, but I used to go over to their house like every weekend. And I remember as kids, and this is in the 90s, but as kids, we would play Street Fighter 2, Aladdin, and a couple other games on Super Nintendo, right? But the way that a setup is they had a walk-in closet. We used to sit in the walk-in closet with this big toy chest. It was like a purple and green toy chest. On top of the said toy chest would be a couple boxes of pepperoni pizza, a boom box playing like 90s house music, like this is the rhythm of the night, music like that, right? So we would blast that music, eating pizza, and then whoever had up on Street Fighter would then, walk out of the closet, sit on the bed, play, whatever many rounds they could play, and then, we swap back and forth. And we used to do this like constantly. Like this was just our life. And there's other aspects like relating to kind of like just my childhood that relates to that specific memory. But as far as like gaming and again, and kind of just my childhood life, like that memory is probably my fondest, like gaming.
Awesome. We already talked about how you got into streaming. So what do you like best about it?
I like the community. Honestly, when I first started streaming, I kind of knew it would be kind of weird just kind of talking to the camera as I'm drawing lines and stuff like that. And then even when I started playing games, me and my brother had attempted something like that. Maybe a couple years when I started doing my YouTube channel. We were playing some games. We were doing like let's plays and stuff like that. So talking as I'm playing or doing wasn't rare for me or wasn't hard for me. But I knew it would be kind of weird on Twitch specifically because it was live. But once the community started pouring in with Mart, with you, with everybody else, it became my thing. Like I would go to work and like be like, oh, okay, I'm here at work, but I can't wait to go home and like talk to everybody and just be goobers and just talk about, XYZ while I'm doing whatever it is that I was doing. So for me, it's always been the community and again, kind of going back to the world domination, just spreading the community, spreading the love and joy. That's probably been one of my like favorite things about streaming in general, being able to.
I found Twitch mixed with Discord is just like amazing, just to be able to keep up with the community and talk to anybody whenever you want. It's just incredible. So now we go into interests and hobbies outside of gaming. What do you do when you're not gaming, streaming?
So like I said earlier, I'm really passionate about martial arts. Every once in a while, I don't go to the gym as often as I should, but when I do, I usually try to look for like gyms that have like martial arts type of equipment, like punching bags. If they got like the heavy ropes, or if they have like kind of like the big aerobics rooms, because I like to do shadow boxing and stuff like that. But just anything with martial arts related, whether it's watching Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or watching current TV shows like Into the Badlands, something martial arts related is a huge thing that I love to do. And even though I draw on stream, I do like drawing, period. It's a really nice escape from, some of the bad stuff that happens with life, having to deal with things. It's a really great escape. And apart from that, I also play Dungeons and Dragons with my brother, and D&D's really fun. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I really like role-playing, or the role-play aspect of gaming and stuff like that. And Dungeons and Dragons was a really great way to expand and push that further. So I would have to say, Dungeons and Dragons, martial arts, and art, probably like my top favorite outside of.
Cool. All right, then we will go ahead and move on to the topic you wanted to discuss, which is art.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up was because so I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of the news surrounding Sonic the Hedgehog and them wanting to the like production company like saying, okay, we're gonna fix the 3D model for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
And I kind of like ranted on Twitter, but like
I saw.
Yeah, it's something that kind of stuck with me. So like when they did Ninja Turtles, right? When Michael Bay did Ninja Turtles, I was a little interested. I wasn't a big fan of Transformers, and I'm still not a big fan of Transformers, despite Bumblebee looking fantastic. But I wasn't a fan of Transformers just because of the design. And as an artist myself, the design is a huge thing. If I don't like the design, chances are I'm not going to like the movie. And the same can be said about cartoon shows. There are certain cartoon shows that I will not watch because I don't like the art style. Like, and I'm sorry, unpopular opinion, but Bob's Burgers, I don't like the art style. And so I tried watching an episode of the show and I hated the show. And I'm like, okay, well, this correlates.
I don't either. So
the same thing with Rick and Morty. Although, because I've been forced to watch Rick and Morty, it's growing on me. So I don't dislike Rick and Morty as much as I did before, but the art style was a huge turnoff. So I didn't even want to give it a shot. So with Sonic, I didn't know they were going to make a movie, but when I saw the trailer, I was like, you know what? This trailer looks kind of fun. Like the movie looks like it could be interesting. And if nothing else, I'm a Jim Carrey fan, so
right.
I'm going to go watch it for Jim Carrey. A friend of mine told me, is like, what do you think about the Sonic design, though? Because you being the artist, I know like that's probably bugging you. And I was like, it is a little bit, like they gave him shoes. Why not just give him gloves, And he doesn't even look like a real hedgehog. Like, why didn't they give him more like real life hedgehog features? Like the hair on the back looks a little bit spikier. They actually look like almost like a porcupine, like pine, not pines, but pointy things, right? So I'm like, why didn't they quills? Yeah, there you go. I was like, why couldn't they just do that with Sonic? Why did it make him just all hair? And I didn't really want to get into it too much. I was like, you know what? Let me watch the movie. Maybe if I watch the movie, then his design won't bug me as much. And I thought the same thing about the Ninja Turtles movie. You know, I didn't like the early pictures that they were showing. I liked some of them, but not all of them. There were design elements that just as an artist myself, I was like, this looks dumb, or this doesn't make any sense. Or like, I see why you did this, but you shouldn't have made that decision. But either way, I figured, let me watch the product, let me watch the property, and then see if it holds itself on its own merit. So with Sonic, again, let's see if it holds up to its own merit. But the tweet got released from, I think, the director,
Yeah.
I believe, who was like, all right, we heard your outcry, we're going to change it. And on the one hand, as a fan, I'm thankful that they're going to change the design, because, you know, he looks really weird.
Right.
But as an artist, it's not that I don't care, but I'm really like, why are you changing it? Like, this is your vision. You should release your vision. And if we don't like it, then, oh, well, we can go back to playing Sonic and not watch the movie. And
one word, money.
You know, money, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think it's right that he caved in just because the fans complained about it. You know, fans to a certain extent we can be really
critical,
not judgmental, but like
critical,
like we not critical, but like entitled. You know, we can be entitled. Like, I remember when there were pictures of the first Transformers, of the Turtles. I'm trying to think of like some other properties that came out. The new Chucky movie, things like that. You know, fans like, oh, this is garbage, or oh, this movie's gonna suck just because the design alone doesn't look good, or people didn't like the design. But then if you watch the trailer doesn't look too bad. It just, you know, certain design choices just don't really fit. And I guess the same could be same for like remakes, or like, oh, we made this movie inspired by, you know, this movie, like the Karate Kid, for an example, what I call Kung Fu Kid being inspired from the Karate Kid. You know, they're all artistic visions, and as a creator, I would say give it a shot. You might be surprised, and at least go to watch the person's art. And again, if you don't like it, then, oh, well, you have, you know, the other property, or the original property, you can always go back to and never mention this again. Specifically, like, as I'm saying this, I'm now like thinking about the movie Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that show to death, and I will fight tooth and nail to defend that show. The movie, absolute garbage. The worst freaking movie I have ever seen. Worse than The Room, and The Room is a bad movie. But again, I don't have to watch that movie anymore. I can always go back to the cartoon show if I want to, which I do from time to time. So the same thing with like Sonic and like everything else in general. You know, these directors and producers and XYZ, it's their vision. And I think you should at least give them maybe the benefit of the doubt, or at least give them a chance to see what they're expressing. And again, if you don't like it, then, oh, well, go back to your original stuff.
So the only problem with the oh well is that, like I said, dollar bills are attached to it. They spent money on this movie. It's got to make money back. The director can't be seen as having a failed movie, or could hurt his career.
And I agree. But then if that's the case, then he should have made that decision before signing off on the designs that he signed off on.
I completely agree. It was a mistake from the get-go. Or at least it appears to be a mistake, as most people would say.
But he decided to go with that design, and, you know, trust in the vision. And if the vision sucks, then, oh, well, you know, don't watch that director's art no more.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I did with Shyamalan. I after Avatar, I was like, for sure, I'm not watching anymore. But then he made Split and Mr. Glass, and now I'm kind of like, I might give it a shot.
All right, so is there anything else art related that you would want to talk about, or was that pretty much it?
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, like, I do art and stuff on the channel too, and I do a lot of fan art, and I'm pretty sure I'll get people that may come on the stream at some point, be like, your art sucks. I'm just like, hey, it's my vision. If you
Yeah.
don't like it,
You got any art in
the
front of you
door.
want to show off?
Oh, I don't. Oh, should have brought the sketch. I don't.
Uh,
But follow me on Instagram. Totally a fan.
we'll get to that later.
Okay. Well,
All
I was
the
gonna say I just posted a May the 4th image on there. Pretty nice, in my opinion.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll get into news and gaming topics and whatnot. You brought me a couple, including Jedi: The Fallen Order and Star Wars in general.
Okay, so with Jedi: The Fallen Order, I don't know too much about it, but the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because like on the stream we've talked about EA before, like plenty of times, and the Jedi Order looks amazing based on like the little stuff that we have of it. I saw like a quick little snippet of like behind the scenes stuff. And then some of the synopsis or rumored synopsis that I've heard of the game sounds awesome. My only fear is like, is EA gonna pull the plug on these things? Because EA has bashed fans for whatever reason. I guess for us not buying the pay to win pack, and so they started bashing fans like, single player fans are ruining Star Wars or ruining the games or whatever. But it's like, you're making a game to cater to us, and if you don't present the product that we want, like you said, we're not going to pay for it, and then that's going to hurt their reputation or
Bottom line.
and yeah, and I'm really fearful that EA is going to pull the plug on this because they also have Respawn attached to it,
Right.
and Apex, has their hand in or Respawn has their hand in Apex. So I'm really curious to see what this game is going to be. I'm just fearful of EA and what they're known for, and so I'm kind of like worried about it. But I wanted to bring it up to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't think EA is going to be an issue on this one because they can't afford to cancel another one. They have the contract with Star Wars and Disney and them, and it's just they can't afford to not bring out another game. Plus, they have the release date of this year. They've already said so. Yeah, so it's going to be out probably within the next 6 months. I'm just surprised with as little as we've seen from it, but they did put out like a synopsis of what the game's going to be. So you said you don't know what that is yet?
I've read a little bit of it, but I don't know if it was legit or not. So I don't.
It takes place post Order 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
And you're one of the few, if maybe not the only one, who got away, and so you're trying to do things and figure stuff out while staying hidden because if you come out as a Jedi anywhere, you're being sent after. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of stealth mechanics in here. So I think it'll be interesting, but I don't think you have to worry about it coming out. It's going to come out. Whether or not it gets delayed to next year, who knows? But they can't not put it out at this point. Otherwise they're kind of screwed with their contract, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they pulled the plug on 1313, which was supposedly a Boba Fett's game, and then supposedly they pulled the plug on I don't know if it was like a sequel to Knights of the Old Republic or if it was something related to Knights of the Old Republic or just something completely new altogether as far as like MMORPG. They pulled the plug on that too, and there were all these other things that like, oh yeah, they're gonna make this, and then EA pulled the plug. Oh, what about that? EA pulled the plugs. Come on, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I wanted to bring that up. I'm upset about that.
Yeah, the Amy Hennig game. I'm sad that we'll never get to see the light of day. But the only other Star Wars things I wanted to bring up is R.I.P. Peter Mayhew. Chewbacca passed away the other day. If anybody didn't know, the guy who played him for probably 30 some odd years or so. Sad, unfortunately, the result of time.
Yeah. Thankfully, unthankfully, not really sure how to really word this without sounding like a jerk, but I know that for the new trilogy, he was kind of really hands-on in terms of like training, I guess, the new guy that was going to replace him because he knew he couldn't do it anymore. And so I'm hoping that the new guy has done great so far. As good as what we can expect from Chewbacca.
Right.
But I'm happy that he was able to pass the mantle to somebody who I guess he had a hand in, like, kind of help guiding through it all and stuff like that. But yeah, no, man, it's sad because we also lost Princess Leia.
Right.
And it's unfortunately it happens. It's just that time. They've been around since forever. That movie came out like what, in the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but it's just I'm but yeah.
All right, on to probably not necessarily happier topics, but more dramatic topics. This is pretty much all you. You wanted to put Game of Thrones on there, and
Oh
I
yeah.
don't watch Game of Thrones, so this is all you.
Okay. So no spoilers. No spoilers. However,
Quick note though, for anybody in chat, I basically try to not ignore, but just we get to a section at the end for questions and comments and everything. So if I don't respond or we don't mention you, that's why. So, that'll be coming up soon. So, all right, back to Game of Thrones.
yeah. All right. So again, no spoilers. Just to reiterate, I'm not spoiling anything. The only thing I'm gonna say is if you haven't seen the last episode, I highly, highly recommend trying to prepare yourself to watch that episode. What you need to do is set yourself up in whatever room you're going to be watching it in with the correct lighting for the time of day that you're going to be watching it at. The reason why I say this is because a lot of people were complaining how like everything was pitch black. I think that the dark tones of the episode helped. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you might know what the episode was about specifically if you're huge Game of Thrones fans, just because this episode specifically has been talked about for like a while now. But there were a lot of dark tones in terms of cinematography.
That's what I heard.
And yeah, and a lot of people were complaining that it was just so dark that they couldn't see it. I saw this episode on a projector in my brother-in-law's house basement. The lighting was immaculate. I could see everything, colors popped. I could see all the details. Nothing escaped. And mind you, when I watch shows like this, like I'm all over the place, and I could see everything. Then I came home and I watched it again in my room, pitch black as well, but coming from like a LCD, or is it LED? One of the two type of TVs, flat screens, and again, immaculate. I could see all the details. I didn't miss a single beat. But there was such a huge uproar that fans were like, oh, like that episode sucked. I couldn't really see this or I couldn't see that and blah, blah, blah. The dark tones of the episode really impact the story tones in the beats of the episode itself of what's happening. The darkness is supposed to make you feel like, there's darkness around you, kind of give you a sort of claustrophobic type of vibe, right? And again, I think it's kind of ridiculous that people were totally bagging on the episode just because their own TV settings just were not up to date or not set specifically for to watch this not at the premiere. But then again, your settings may be off anyways just because you like it a certain way, or unfortunately if you're colorblind, then that's a whole nother thing that I wouldn't even know what to tell you about. But a lot of people were just blowing this out of proportion, and I was like, dude, it was such a great episode, and it sucks that you don't have the right settings to miss that episode or to enjoy the episode for what it is in terms of, like, again, not just an episode of a show, but like all the underlying details and story notes and beats and everything that these guys have put into the show, and it sucks. So I'm telling you guys now, if you guys haven't seen the show, or sorry, haven't seen the episode specifically titled The Long Night, Season 8, Episode 3, please make sure that you're properly calibrating your TV setting to view what's essentially going to be a dark episode into whatever type of environment, whether you're going to watch it in the day, whether you're going to watch it at night. Please set your TV accordingly, because it's an amazing episode, and it would be such a shame to hear you bitching and moaning that the episode sucked because you couldn't see anything. Throwing that out there.
This has been Game of Thrones with Totally a Fan. All right, I have Sonic trailer on here. We've already talked extensively about it, so the only thing I'm going to mention is that I think the trailer looks fun enough. I do like the fact that we're getting silly Jim Carrey, which we haven't gotten in years.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I don't think it's going to be a great movie, much like Transformers, but it's something that I'll give a look when it comes out. But
Again, like I said, I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. I've liked his darker stuff. Jim Carrey as a person has changed drastically. I don't know if it was like his sister or somebody very important to him died, and it changed his whole mindset and outlook on life to a point where a lot of people thought like he was like on drugs or whatever, and that's not the case, man. He just reached a level of enlightenment after realizing what's really important to him in this world. And but Jim Carrey still to this day is one of those actors that I will watch a movie just because he's in it. The movie could be bad, but because he's in it, I'm gonna watch it because I'm not saying he can't do no wrong, but I mean he hasn't let me down yet. So
it's almost like Robin Williams, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. Well, Robin could do no wrong. Every movie I've seen Robin in has been amazing, or at least he has done the best that he could do with like
Right.
just. So, yeah, it'd be the same thing. Like I'd watch. I'm watching it just because Jim Carrey's in it. However, I think that because you can kind of see the growth and the evolution of Robotnik, and so for Jim Carrey to kind of take that on in terms of character development, I think is going to be funnier than what a lot of people might expect it. But hate it or love it, the design of Sonic, I think the movie is it's a kids movie. Let's get that straight, right?
It's
It's
going
going
to
to
be
be a kids
stupid
movie.
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be stupid fun. You're going to have a great time, I think. Honestly, with the next trailer, we'll kind of see what's up because we only got the first trailer, and whether or not Sonic looks better with the second go around, the movie's going to come out soon, so I don't expect a lot
November,
of
I think,
changes.
is the release currently.
Yeah, so I don't expect a lot of changes, to be honest, just because to re-rig, remodel, capture everything, it's going to be incredible amount of hard work, and freaking totally fan hat tip to everybody working on Sonic, man. That's going to be everybody's going to be putting in the work. They're going to earn whatever paycheck they get from this movie.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you. But the movie I think is going to be fun. And again, if nothing else, I'm watching it for Jim Carrey.
All right, some quick little things here. For anybody who doesn't know, PS Plus for May, you're going to get Overcooked 1 and What Remains of Edith Finch. So not a bad month for those who don't already own those. Good multiplayer with Overcooked is if, probably wouldn't do it with a spouse if you don't want to hate each other. But other than that, it's a good time. And I haven't got to play What Remains of Edith Finch, but I heard it's a good story. So, and then a little thing here that I don't know how. So they're Intellivision is coming out with their own console. I don't know. It's called the Intellivision Amico, and the only reason I'm mentioning this is because right now 10 of the original creators of Earthworm Jim are coming back to create a new Earthworm Jim that is going to be exclusive to this new Intellivision. That's the only reason I bring it up because that's really interesting. I'd love to play a new Earthworm Jim, but obviously I wouldn't buy an Intellivision to do it. But
Yeah, that's interesting. I agree. I've been meaning to play an Earthworm Jim game. I have one. I think it's number two. I think I've been meaning to play it on stream. Because I loved Earthworm Jim growing up. I even loved the cartoon show as a kid. But I read something that they were going to come out with another one, but I did not know that it was going to be exclusively to the new system. At the moment, that one game, like you said, I would love to play it. It's not enough for me to want to buy it, especially when that's the only exclusive.
right.
If they're probably gonna have like multiple platform games, like Apex is available on all systems, Assassin's Creed is available on all systems. If it's gonna have games like that, then great for them. But if I'm gonna buy that system, they have to have a lot of exclusives. They're gonna have to come strong with exclusives. But I haven't heard any news about that. That's interesting. We're gonna get a new system in the market. Because wasn't Google supposed to make a new system?
Yeah, they still have their what is it, Stadium? No,
Think so.
Stadia. It's the Stadia, the streaming platform. So we'll see how that goes. We don't know a ton about it right now. You're going to need a really good connection to get stable gaming and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see about that. I don't think the Intellivision is going to do particularly well, but we'll see. So last on gaming news I have, unless you have anything else, is all the Borderlands stuff that came out. Borderlands 3. there's a big thing a couple days ago where they had a whole bunch of streamers and people play it for the entire day basically, and a whole bunch of news came out for it. And I gotta say, in my opinion, it looks like it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was a huge fan of the Borderlands series. And I this third one just looks amazeballs. It really does. I have a two friends, or maybe acquaintances that have done some sort of project for the game. So they posted stuff on their Facebook like, oh man, like I'm so happy I got to work on this for Borderlands 3. Here you guys go, you guys can check it out. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. So just obviously the updated graphics.
Yeah, here's a quick rundown for some of the stuff I know. So there's going to be basically a home base of operations, which is a spaceship that you'll get to. Basically, your hub world is a spaceship with a lot of your favorite characters, your own private rooms that you can customize and stuff. You can have multiple abilities this time around. They have 3 different ones you can swap between. What I got? Alternate firing on weapons. So I don't know if it's every weapon, but a lot of weapons will have. You just toggle the D-pad and it'll switch between like full automatic and burst fire, and or some will switch between like a sniper rifle and a rocket launcher in the same gun. So all that sounds awesome, and you can slide and mount over things as well. So all quality of life improvements, kind of, but it's going to be amazing thrown into the Borderlands universe, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and then the story is great too. So like that's just one more thing to add to the awesomeness of Borderlands.
That comes out, I think, in September, so soon enough it'll be in our PlayStations and Xboxes.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have for gaming news. Is there anything else you could think of or wanted to add there?
Really it. How anybody watch Endgame yet? Was it not?
No. Still haven't seen it. Plan to see it this Friday. So until then, I gotta still keep away.
Okay. Enjoy it.
That being said, a quick rundown. So what are you playing right now when you stream, or like when you are streaming? What are you playing?
So I know we were supposed to be playing the Division 2, but I'm on the Apex bug, man, and there are just some days when I'm like, yo, I need to play Apex today or right now. Like I need my Apex fix. So I don't know when, but we'll jump on the Division 2 on Xbox. I promise you guys.
And where else?
Unfortunately, right now. No, go ahead.
No, finish what you're saying.
All right. So unfortunately, right now I'm just kind of going through life, and my streaming schedule has changed dramatically. But you know, we still do art streams from time to time. Like I said, I did something for May the 4th. That's posted up. So we'll still draw from here from time to time. Apex we're still doing. And then on Thursdays it was supposed to be Throwback Thursday where I do like retro games. Again, just because of how my schedule's been going, I haven't really been as committed to doing retro games as I wanted to. But if I can get to a better place, we can do more retro games. Eventually, I want to, for whatever reason, my PlayStation 3 doesn't work with my Elgato. I don't know why. I need to figure that out because I want to play games like Final Fantasy, Crash Team Racing in preparation for the new Crash Team Racing coming out later.
Yeah, I had to get a HDMI splitter to get it to work.
Yeah, that's might be what I need. I don't know what else I need, but there's a bunch of other retro games for PlayStation and PlayStation 2, and maybe even some on PS3 that I would love to play on stream in terms of our Throwback Thursday. I just got to figure that stuff out. But until then, I know Earthworm Jim is probably going to be the next game that I play. And then I finally got my hands on Streets of Rage, so we're going to do that on stream at some point. But yeah, mostly it's just art, just because I wanted to get to a level with my art where potentially I can sell art. If you guys need commissions, you know, we could get it done that way. If you guys needed emotes or whatever the case is, I want to get to a point where
so we'll go ahead and cross over to
portfolio.
Basically promoting yourself. So I'm putting in the chat your link to your Twitch channel.
I don't mean to throw your like plans off the rails here. I'm sorry, but
no problem. So where can they find you in various places?
So on social media, all of it, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, maybe YouTube is at TotallyAFan. The reason why I say maybe YouTube is because just like Twitch, there's already somebody that has TotallyAFan. so it may not be like a direct link. So with Twitch, I had to throw TAF or TAF behind it just because people were calling me TAF anyways, or like, hey, when are you going to do TAF or whatever the case is. So that was my solution for Twitch. But for YouTube, I think if you go like youtube.com/C as in Charlie/TotallyAFan, that should. And then yeah, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
all that
at
jazz.
TotallyAFan. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And do you want to promote your art?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, if you guys
and whatnot.
if you guys are ever in the need for overlays, emotes, loyalty, if you guys want to have like artwork you guys can hang or whatever the case is, on my Discord I have some pricing available, but pretty soon, once I finish a couple people's projects, I'm gonna open up a website so that you guys can go to the website, and then just apply for packages that you guys want. So we have all that stuff going on there. The most that you'll probably ever spend is maybe $35. But it's really up to you guys. I have a list of who needs work now. So if you guys want to jump on that list, or if you guys are in need of stuff, just hit me up with a DM either on Discord or on Twitch, and then I will link you prices and all that information. But if you guys commission emotes and stuff like that, you guys actually help me, because that money goes back into me being able to stream more often, whether it's paying some of the bills so that I don't have to get a second job, or buying new equipment so that I can stream better quality, whatever the case is. All that money goes back into me trying to provide better content. So yeah.
If you guys don't already, I definitely would give Taff a follow. At the very least, you can go to his channel and look at past art channels, and you can see the kind of work he does. It's really good stuff. I can't draw worth a lick, so comparing it to me doesn't mean anything. But all right,
I do. Well, I was gonna say I do a lot of comic book style art, but if you need like a specific style, just kind of give me time, and I can, for whatever project you need, I can try to adapt that style for that specific project. But just so that you guys are aware, I do more like comic book style stuff. So if you guys are into that, like superheroes, whatever the case is, that's just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm at.
All right, so we've hit the final section, which is viewer questions and comments. So if there's anybody out there who'd like any questions for either of us, or any interjections on the stories we talked about, now's the time to do it before we close out the show. So we'll wait a minute.
I totally pulled up the stream on my phone so I can read the chat, but like we're just going into it and I totally missed everything.
I'll read out anything if it comes up, if you want to just do it that way.
Maybe he was steered away from his own vision, wasn't happy with it. I'm not sure what that's related to. Maybe the Sonic.
Yeah, it
thing,
was the Sonic stuff.
Can it be as bad as the new Hellboy? Oh, Jesus. You know what? The new Hellboy, I was really disappointed with the face mask, with the mold that they made. He looked like the two sections where the horns come out of, it looked like it was too heavy for the facial prosthetic, that it kind of sagged his like eyebrow area, and it just made this whole top part just look really super wrinkly, a little bit more than like who did the original Hellboy? I want to say his name was Royce. Can't remember. But the original Hellboy face mask and mold and stuff like that looked amazing.
You talk about Ron Perlman?
Ron Perlman, that's what I meant. I don't know why Roy came up. But Ron Perlman's facial prosthetic was amazing. And it sucks that this more recent one just looks terrible.
Right.
Outside of that, I think the design looked good. As for the movie, I can't speak on behalf of the movie. I didn't see it. I didn't really care to see it. But I can tell you straight up, from early pictures of Hellboy, that face mold just not good. I don't know what they were doing. Can't be worse than Dragon Ball. That's another man. That was another bad one.
Most of those I haven't seen, but
good Tidus, good. Oh my god, I have found other people who don't watch GOT. I thought yours was a myth. I thought yous were a myth. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, man, by all means, whatever questions you got, whether it's gaming, whether it's life, art, streaming.
Taff, you being a comic connoisseur, which comic book, uh, car, or a motorized vehicle would you like? This is from John Blah 99.
Johnny, am I restricted to Earth vehicles, or am I whatever vehicle I want in the comic universe?
Yeah, anything in comics. I don't see why there'd be any
Well, the
restriction.
reason why I asked specifically is because you have Earth vehicles like Johnny Blaze's motorcycle from a Ghost Rider, or you have something outworldly like Silver Surfer's surfboard. So, it's kind of specific. I mean, to be honest, I think if I draw my character, he would be riding a motorcycle to most extent, whether it be a dirt bike, whether it be like a sports bike, like a ninja or whatever. It would probably be a motorcycle.
John says
But
you can have a spaceship for all he cares. Just anything.
oh, a spaceship. Oh, in that case, I'm a fan of I don't know how like attention to detail you guys might be, but in Revenge of the Sith, in the Star Wars Episode 3, there was a fighter type of ship that the clones would fly. I think they called it like not an AC-130, but it had a weird designation to it where it looked like the X-wing, like the pre-X-wing. I really like that ship. That ship's cool. I don't know why, just design wise, it really spoke out to me. So if we're talking about space vehicles, then that would probably be the way to go. But otherwise, if I'm drawing something for like comic book related, it'd probably more than likely be like a motorcycle.
Cool. I think we're just about wrap it up there. Thank you, Taff, for being my guest today. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
yeah.
Glad to have you on. Happy to have you on anytime you'd like.
Thank you, Tidus. Always happy to help you out in any way that I can. I much love to Tidus. Guys, if you don't already, follow Tidus. Tidus is an amazing cat, really awesome streamer, super supportive dude. I didn't mention it earlier, but this guy to my left, to my right, that guy over there somewhere, helped me get to Universal for my birthday. So much love to that guy on whatever my side he's on.
It's your right.
My right, so right that way.
Yep.
So show that guy a lot of love. Tidus, thank you. You're amazing, dude.
No, it's all good. It's not. I mean,
hat tip to you, sir.
Happy to have helped. So like I said, if you don't already, he's in a bunch of places: Twitter, Twitch, Discord, YouTube. Give him a look, and I will. This episode should be cut. I want to have it tonight like I did last week, so you can kind of ignore where it says at the top of the screen 3 p.m. on Monday. I want to try to get it night of. A video version on YouTube and audio version on Podbean, which is the only place I have it right now. But otherwise, yeah. Thank you again, Taff. And I try to do every other week, but we're moving houses soon, so it's probably going to be a little hectic. It'll be a couple of weeks before we get a chance to do it again, so maybe another month or so. But I hope to have Waffle Outlaw as my next guest.
Ooh, Waffle. Okay.
Yeah, he's agreed to. And anybody else out there who streams, feel free to send me a message or anything through Twitch or otherwise, and we can talk about having you on. All right. Well, that'll wrap episode 3. Thank you again, Taff, and I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Hats to you and everybody. Bye-bye.
Later, everyone.
That's okay, man. I apologize on my end too. I mean, like